So this chapter is about costs and analyzing what it costs to do things in our business and making business decisions. Hopefully this chapter will be relevant to you in real life as well as in business, because almost everything you do has pros and cons, costs and benefits. Three different kinds of costs we're going to be talking about in this chapter. The most important one are, of course, out-of-pocket costs. Out-of-pocket costs. Let's just take as an example your business decision to go to Greenville Tech. Or will you just go out and get a job, a full-time job? First of all, what are the out-of-pocket costs of going to Greenville Tech? Well, the tuition, the books, and the fees. So these are future outlays of cash associated with going to Greenville Tech. They are definitely relevant to our decision to either go to Greenville Tech or not go to Greenville Tech and work full-time. Sunk costs are costs that happened in the past. So we do not want to consider these in our decisions. Sunk costs happen in the past and they are irrelevant. An example of a sunk cost would be, well, after high school, I went to Wofford and I got a degree in musical theater. Well, that happened in the past. Okay. So whether I choose to go to Greenville Tech and get an accounting degree to get a good accounting job, or I just get another job, that money that I spent on that musical theater degree has already happened and nothing will change it. So I will not take that into consideration. Sunk costs happened in the past. They do not affect your decision. Now, opportunity costs are definitely relevant to our decision-making process. Opportunity costs is not actual money we're going to spend to get the degree at Greenville Tech, but opportunity costs are rather benefits given up if we go to Greenville Tech. For example, if I don't go to Greenville Tech, then I would be able to work more hours and make more money. If I do go to Greenville Tech, I will not be making that money. So that'll be money given up. You got to put that in your decision-making process here. And of course, we also must consider the benefits. If I go to Greenville Tech, I will make more money. All right, so with all that in mind, we're going to start working on several different types of decisions associated with a business. The first one is to make something or to buy it. Let's say you're trying to start a cupcake business. Do you want to make the icing for the cupcakes or do you want to buy it? Now, what are the costs? What are the benefits? Costs associated with making the icing would be buying the flour and the sugar and the butter, the labor that you'll have to pay people to make the icing. Whereas if we simply buy the icing, well, I think it's rather simple. We buy it and we slap it on the cupcakes. So it looks like buying is the easier choice and maybe less costly. I don't know. Depends on how much that icing costs versus these ingredients. Another thing to consider is one of the benefits, perhaps if we make our own icing, the cupcakes will taste better and our business will do better. We will be able to, market the fact that we make our own icing. And if we buy it, we won't be able to say that, honestly. It'll contain all sorts of preservatives and things, right? Maybe we can charge more for our cupcakes if we can brag that we make our own icing. And the overhead, now this word incremental just means additional overhead. Obviously, our business has overhead. I mean, we are still in a building which has to have utilities, rent, and supervisor salaries and all sorts of things. And that overhead will be there whether we make the icing or we buy the icing. Incremental overhead means additional overhead. Maybe more utilities because it takes longer to make the icing. QS 23-6, Cando Company incurs a $9 per unit cost for product A. which we currently manufacture, and we sell it for $13.50. So we get $13.50 for it for the customers, and it costs us $9 to make it. So what we're thinking about doing is we're thinking about, just instead of making it ourselves, which costs $9, we're thinking about just buying it for $5. Sounds like a good deal, right? Saving $4 by buying it. We will only be able to sell it for $12 instead of $13.50. I don't know why, but that's the facts they gave you. So if we purchase it, we can only sell it for $12. So we will be losing $1.50. Now you can do the math in your head and see that still we're only losing $1.50 on selling price, but we're saving $4 if we buy it. So it sounds like it's a good deal to maybe switch to buying it. Here's another piece of information. If we buy it, unit sales would remain unchanged. Okay, so we would still sell as many units as we have been. And now here's the thing, $5 of the $9 per unit cost would be eliminated. What does this mean? So product A currently costs us $9 to make, right? Well, if we buy it instead of make it, only 5 of this will go away. So what that means is $4. Is that the difference here? $4 will still be there. And what is that $4? I don't know. Maybe it's fixed overhead. I'm not sure. But just know that $4 would still be there. In addition to us having to pay $5, if we buy it, we will still have to pay 5, 6, 7, 8. We will still have to pay $9 a unit. Well, that doesn't sound too good. Let's do our analysis here. So if we make it, we can sell it for $13.50. That's what it says up there. If we buy it, we can only sell it for $12. Now, if we make it, okay, the cost to make it is $9, right? If we buy it, how much does it cost to buy it? $5? Okay. And also cost per unit not eliminated if we buy. So remember, if we buy it, we're still gonna have $4 of this because only 5 was eliminated. So we still got 4 there. So if we buy it, we'll still have that $4. So $13.50 minus $9 is $4.50. So that's our profit. $13.50 is from selling it, $9 to make it. Now, on the other hand, this, if we buy it, we can only sell it for $12, and it's still basically what costs us $9 to buy it. So what that's going to be is $3 profit. This looks better, making it looks better. And hopefully you kind of figured that out on your own, because it looks like the cost is $9 either way, right? It's $9 to make it, and to buy it, it's $5, but we still have that $4, so it's still $9. The difference is we can sell it for $13.50 if we make it, and only $12 if we buy it. So that's the difference there, $1.50. Now, scrap or rework. People make mistakes when we're manufacturing things. I would take, for example, clothing manufacturers like Ralph Lauren, and the sewer makes mistakes. They mess up the placement of the buttons, perhaps. You know, when clothing manufacturers make a mistake on their clothing, like the buttons are in the wrong place or the stitches aren't right, they have 2 choices. They can either fix it, or we can just sell it as is, which means scrapping it. So it just depends on what you want to do, but you need to analyze the costs, the benefits of doing that. And also, we have to consider this. If we take the time to rework or remake this shirt, we will have to take people off the regular assembly line to do that, which will mean they will not be able to make other shirts. So that's like an opportunity cost, isn't it? And remember what I said about sunk costs. The sunk costs are costs that have happened in the past, and we ignore those because they've already happened. Scrap or rework. This company Signal mistakenly produced 1,000 defective cell phones. The phones cost $60 to produce. Now remember, that's a sunk cost. It has already happened. So we will leave it out of our analysis. A salvage company will buy the defective cell phones as they are for 30 cents each. So what I'm going to do is go ahead and put that in my scrap column, because a salvage company will buy them for 30 cents each, $30 each. $30 times 1,000, we will make $30,000 from scrapping them. Okay, $30 times 1,000 cell phones. However, it would cost $80 per phone to rework the phones. The cost of reworking is $80,000. However, if we rework them, we can sell them for $120 each. It's $120,000. No, here's something else. Signal has excess capacity. That's a very important sentence. What it means is we will not have to pull people off the assembly line to rework these phones. So there is no opportunity cost of reworking the phones. We have people already that are available to rework them without taking them off the regular production line. So that's important. So obviously, if we scrap them, we're walking away with 30,000. If we rework them, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, we're making 40,000, right? It does cost us 80,000 to rework them. That's a lot of money, right? But we're going to make so much more, like 4 times as much, right? To me, the choice is to reworking them. See, that's what we're thinking about doing, right? Reworking them would increase net income by $10,000. Okay. So it's important that you know how to answer that question. It's not like scrapping them will do something. You know, scrapping means we just do nothing else, right? Reworking them is actually doing something else. It's reworking them. So the way the question reads is, reworking the phones will increase net income by $10,000. The next topic I want to talk about is the decision to either sell the goods as is or process further. Now, this is very similar to scrap or rework, you know, as far as the numbers go. Scrapping means selling it now as is, right? Reworking them means to do more stuff to it, to add value to it so we can sell it for more, hopefully. But we're going to talk about this anyway. Sell or process further. Garcia Company has 10,000 units of its product that were produced last year, and the total cost was $150,000. The units were damaged in a rainstorm because the warehouse where they were stored developed a leak in the roof. Well, this is just like, you know, scrap or rework, isn't it? That's basically what sell or process further is. We can sell the units as is for $2 each, or we can repair them and sell them for $5. If we sell as is, our sales would be $2 each times 10,000. That's $20,000. We'll make $20,000 if we sell them as is. If we process further, what will we get? We can sell it for $5 each. So 50,000. We can make a lot more money if we process further. So the difference there, the incremental. Now remember, incremental means additional. So the additional income here is 30,000. However, and here's the however, additional processing costs. Well, if we sell them as is, we will not incur any more processing costs. We're going to make 20 and walk away. However, repair them for a total cost of 18. So it's going to cost us 18,000 to repair them. But still, it looks like we're better off, right? The difference here is 12,000, right? I think they do want it here. Let's put it there and see. I don't know if that should be negative or positive, but obviously we should process further, right? Repair and sell them. Yeah, that's right. Let's talk about sales mix. Most companies make more than one product. Which product should we focus on selling more? Well, we will focus on selling the more profitable products. When a company sells a variety of products, some are likely to be more profitable than others. Management concentrates sales efforts on more profitable products. If production facilities are limited, if we are limited on our production facilities, producing more of one product usually means producing less of others. In this case, management must identify the most profitable combination of products. Here is an example. Fast Track makes and sells two products, product A, product B. They use the same machine. That's important. What that means is if we use these machines to make product A, they can't be making product B at the same time. We need to decide which one is more profitable. I think this is going to be interesting because this is something you probably haven't thought about when we get to the bottom of this slide. Now, here's the facts. Product A we sell for $5 and the variable costs are $3.50. That's direct materials, direct labor, and variable overhead. I am not going to consider fixed overhead because that is the same either way. Now, product B, oh wow, we make more money on product B, don't we? $7.50. So we make an extra $2.50 on product B. And how much does it cost to make? It costs $2 more to make, right? Well, that sounds like a no-brainer, right? Just looking at this alone, which one is better for us to make? Which one's more profitable? A or B? Yeah, B, because the profit is a full $2, right? $7.50, $5.50. But this profit is only $1.50. So you might say, okay, let's do B, but wait a minute. I'm going to throw another fact at you. It takes 1 hour to make product A. It takes 2 hours to make product B. So this has a bigger profit, right, per product? But it takes twice as long to make product B. So listen to what I'm saying here. What if we decided to make product A? We can make 2 of these in the same time it takes to make 1 of these. So are you picturing it? How we analyze it then is we do what we did up here, right? Selling price per unit, that's the same information. So the contribution margin per unit, which is sales minus variable cost, you can see that product B does look better. It's a bigger profit. But if we divide by the number of hours it takes to make it, we are making $1.50 an hour on this product. Now, this is all well and good. This $2 is just fine, but it takes 2 hours to make it. So if you think about it, how much are we making per hour on this product? Only $1. So see what I'm saying? It's not always about the profit per product. You got to consider how long it takes to make each product. QS 23-11 sales mix. Excel Memory Company can sell all units of memory X and Y that it can produce. And it looks like however much we produce, we sell it. So we're doing good as far as selling. So if we make nothing but X, we'll sell it all. If we make nothing but Y, we'll sell all that too. But we have limited production capacity. We can only make so much. The question is, which one should we focus on? We can produce 2 units of X per hour or 3 of Y per hour. Okay, so that's important. We have 4,000 production hours available, okay. contribution margin is 5 for X and 4 for Y. So what I want to do is put in the contribution margin per unit first. All right, so it looks just on the surface that we make more off of product X, right? Because we get $5 for X, but only 4 for Y. But we can make 2 of X per hour or 3 of Y. So 2 of X per. 2 of X and 3 of Y. All right. So contribution margin per hour, each unit makes us 5, and we can make 2 in an hour, so 10. And then this is 12. So it looks like product Y is better. Should we just stop making X altogether? I mean, it looks that way. It looks that way. Would we lose customers? I don't know, maybe, right? Because some customers might want product X. And if we don't sell it, they'll go to somebody else, right? We'll lose customers. So I don't know if we should eliminate product X, but we should definitely focus on product Y because it makes more bang for our buck. What is this? What's the most profitable sales mix? I don't know. Just make Y? I mean, Y is definitely the more, yeah, that's what they want. Y is definitely the more profitable, so we should just do Y. Because it says right here, right? We can sell all units that we produce. So even if we make all Y, we're still gonna sell it all. So that tells me that we should just make Y. All right, let's move on. Segment elimination. All too often, companies will eliminate segments. Now, a segment is like a division of a business. This company is a sports good store, and they have a division of their company that makes treadmills. This is the treadmills income statement. Check it out. Not looking too good, right? Those are the sales, cost of goods sold, blah, blah. Here's all the expenses. Yeah, all these expenses. Look at the operating income at the bottom. $500 loss. With that in mind, the company president might decide to shut down the treadmill division and put people out of work. That's so short-sighted. That's something an amateur would do. Because in fact, we have 2 columns here. We have avoidable expenses. So if we eliminate the treadmill division, we would avoid or eliminate these expenses. And that's good. Okay. So if we eliminate treadmills, yes, we would eliminate the sales, obviously. But we would also eliminate the cost of making the treadmills, obviously, right? We would eliminate the wages that we're paying the people to make the treadmills. We would eliminate some of this advertising and insurance and blah, 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 right? But what is this column? Unavoidable expenses. These expenses ain't going away. If we eliminate the treadmill division, we will still have these expenses in our business. We will still have that depreciation, rent, insurance, blah, blah, blah. We will still have $6,500 of expenses. Those are not going away. Eliminating treadmills, is it really worth it? We'll be doing away with all these wonderful sales as well as these expenses, right? What are the sales of treadmills? 47.8, right? Minus the expenses that would also go away. Try to follow me here. 47,800. 47,800. Minus 41,800. Because remember, these are staying no matter what. So basically, what I'm telling you is that the treadmill division, based on these 2 columns alone, has a profit of $6,000. And that will be going away if we eliminate treadmills. Income will decrease if we get rid of treadmills by $6,000. This we need to leave out of the equation because this will be here anyway. Alvarez guitars, right? We mainly make, I guess, acoustic guitars, right? And we do make electric guitars, but we're considering eliminating it because the sales are 72, but the expenses are 76. So they're $4,000 in the hole in negative, right? I'll go ahead and put the sales here. So if we keep the electric guitar division, we will have sales of 72,000. Okay. If we eliminate the electric guitar division, we will not have those sales anymore. Now let's talk about the expenses. Now this is going to get a little confusing, so try to stay with me. Cost of goods sold. If we keep the electric guitars, right, our cost of goods sold will still be 56,000. If we eliminate the electric guitars, we obviously will not have cost of goods sold. If we keep electric guitars, we will still have, we would have all this, right? So 9,250 plus 1,250, 10,500. It's important that you understand how I got the 10,500. It's all this, right? We would still have all this. However, if we eliminate electric guitars, we will still have 1,250, right? Because it's unavoidable. We'll still have the indirect expenses. We have 1,600 and 470. That's 2,070 of indirect. But if we eliminate electric guitars, we're still going to have 1,600. And service department cost at 7,430. If we eliminate electric guitars, we will still have the 1,430 because that's going to be there no matter what. So there's our revenues, our expenses. Now, what do they want here? Net income or loss? So 72 minus 76. It's 4,000 negative, right? That's a loss, right? So this is what people are going to look at. Oh boy, right? A loss. But if we eliminate electric guitars, we are not getting any of those sales, and we're still going to be in the hole 4,280, right? That makes sense? Because we would still have all these expenses. Revenues from electric guitars 72. I'm not sure I understand what they're doing here. So revenues is 72, it's right there. Avoidable expenses. So 56,000, 9,250, 470, 6,000. 71, 720 is what it says. 71. So revenues are greater than, I can already tell you, right, from looking up here, that if we keep electric guitars, we're only in the hole 4,000. But if we eliminate electric guitars, we're in the hole 280 more. So 72,000, 71, 720. Electric guitars are actually helping us by 280, I think. Yep, that's right. It's a very, almost a confusing way that they're making you analyze it here. I could just look right here and say 76,000 minus, because these are the total expenses, but that's the unavoidable expenses. So the avoidable is that minus that, which is 71,720. Electric guitars are helping us only by $280, but they're still helping us somewhat. So this is keep or replace equipment. A lot of companies, they replace their equipment a lot because they want to have the nicest, newest, shiniest equipment ever. And that's fine. But let's do some analysis and see about that. Fast Track can purchase a new machine for $100,000. Now, if we do that, the company that we buy it from is going to give us $25,000 on trade-in on the old machine. So that's good. The new machine will reduce manufacturing costs by $18,000 a year. So that's a good thing, right? So let's look at the good and the bad. The bad is this thing's going to cost us $100,000. The good thing is they're going to give us $25,000 on trade-in. So really, it's only costing us $75,000, right? So that's pretty good, right? Another benefit is that we're going to make basically $18,000 a year more money because our costs will go down by $18,000 a year, which $18,000 over 4 years is that much money. That's the cost of the machine. Notice you put it negative because it's a cost. It's money going out. 25,000 coming in on trade-in and 72 coming in from cost savings. But still, as you can see by this analysis, we come up negative because the cost is just too great and the savings are not enough, right? So I think we should not replace this equipment. So that's just a financial analysis of it. I still want you to think about some other things, and I always want to stress this. Think about bragging rights of having the best equipment. Think about PR. Think about employee morale. How will your employees feel with a really nice facility with the best equipment? There's other things to consider other than money. And I would perhaps argue that $3,000 is not that big of a deal. And I might just want a new machine anyway, because it's really nice and really cool. And my employees will love me for it. And you always want to build goodwill with your employees, don't you? With that, we're going to do QS 2314, keep or replace equipment. Roy Company has a machine with a book value of 75. I don't care about any of this stuff. So they're going to give you a lot of information you don't need. The book value is what we paid for it, you know, back when we bought it. I mean, that's a sunk cost. They're telling you this to trick you. Remember, we do not consider sunk costs. Cost of new machine, right? That's the first variable, I think, right? So it costs 112, 500. Oh, I need to make it negative, right? Because it's a cost. We will also receive 60,000 for the trade-in. So that's the trade-in. So that's a good thing. New machine will reduce variable manufacturing cost, 13,000 times 5, 65,000. So that's more money coming in. That's good. Oh, this one's pretty easy. And I think that's it. So saving money, we should replace it. Yes. Accepting additional business. This is interesting. I like this a lot. A current buyer of our products wants to buy additional units of product and export them to another country. Okay, fine. This buyer offers to, so this customer of ours, let me just break it down. One of our customers wants to buy 10,000 units of our product at $8.50 a unit, which is $1.50 less than what we normally get for it. Would you say no to that? Or would you sell them this stuff for $8.50 per unit? What are some of the considerations? Well, here's some things to think about. If you're a new business and this is a potentially awesome customer that would give you repeat business, then perhaps you should cut them a deal on this one. But let them know that this is a one-time thing. You'll probably have to charge full price next time. All right, should we do this? So Faro expects to sell 150,000 units of our product in the next period with the following results. Sales, costs, pretty good net income there. So that's what we're currently sitting at. The company has an opportunity to sell 15,000 additional units at $12 per unit. instead of the normal price, which, what is the normal price? Well, 2,250,000 divided by 150,000 units. So we normally sell them for $15 each, but somebody wants to pay us $12 each. They want a good deal. Direct materials and direct labor would be the same. However, the additional volume would create the following additional costs. Overhead would increase, administrative would increase. Okay. Calculate the combined total net income if the company accepts the offer at the reduced price. All right, so let's just start this. Sales, right? That's always first. So at normal volume, I guess I just put all this in here, 2,250,000. Cost and expenses. So at the normal volume, all these numbers, we just type them in. Additional volume. This is the additional sales, right? So 15,000 units times 12. 15,000 times $12. That is 180,000. It says that direct materials and direct labor would be the same. Oh boy, you see what they're making us do, right? Direct materials was 300,000 total divided by 150,000 units, $2 each, right? So that divided by that's $2. So $2 times the additional units of 15,000 is 30,000. Now the direct labor is 600 divided by 150. So $4 times 15,000 is 60,000. Okay. It says here total overhead would increase by 15%. So overhead increased by 15%. So what do I do there? I do 150,000 times 1.15.
172,500.
172,500. Okay, and selling expenses. Well, it didn't say, but administrative would increase by 64.5. So we'll do that. Wait, administrative would increase by 64.5. Wait a minute. Okay. So one thing here, I'm double counting the overhead, right? This is just for the additional 15,000 units, right? We're not going to have an additional 172.5 of overhead, right? We're going to have an additional 22,500, right? Selling expenses, where do they tell us about that? Maybe we don't have any selling expenses. I'm going to go out on a limb and try to. Okay, that's right. All right. So we don't have any selling expenses because apparently this customer has come to us. They want to buy the stuff. So we don't have to spend anything to sell it to them, like advertising or sales commissions. They came to us. So it looks like that additional volume is going to make us $3,000. So that's good, right? So we should accept. There we go. All right, guys. Thank you.